Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a big show lined up, but first our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. High 87, low 81. Not much variance in the temperature. It's sort of just hot and muggy. Summertime weather here, but actually still late spring. We've got the summer coming on in a couple of days, so it's not summertime yet. And also, it's going to be, it looks like the next couple of days is going to be real windy. For this time of year, it's been pretty windy. The last 4 or 5 days it's been windy. We're going on into the weekend. The water temperature is 87. Our river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. We appreciate their sponsorship for Panhandle Outdoors. We're looking at Apalachicola Bluntstown at a 7.6, and the Choctahatchee at Caryville 2.7. So the river, Choctahatchee is getting low again, so it's going to be some good fishing on both rivers this weekend. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at a high tide right in about the middle of the day, 11:09. Today, of course, is June the 20th, and I mean really strong tides. The low tide will be going out to about 10:15 tonight, so really good strong tides going all the way into the weekend, so really good situation there. The marine forecast, like I say, in south-southwest, they're calling today 16 to 25. And it's going to be a little bit less tomorrow, a little bit less on Saturday, but it's still going to blow about 10 to 12 on Saturday. So be aware of that if you're going out in some big waters like Lake Seminole or Lake Talquin, or of course the Bay System. Be aware of that wind. All right, take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's catch up with the CCA Florida Star Tournament, or what I like to call just a tag redfish tournament, because that's the only one I'm trying to catch is that tag redfish. I haven't tried yet, haven't gone out, but I've got good news now. No one's caught a tag redfish yet on this chart here. Just got it in. No tag redfish and no tag dolphin, zero on the right there. None of them been turned in. I got word yesterday afternoon, that they caught one. This person was not registered, and guess where they caught it? Fort Walton Beach. And so we've had, every year, last year we had a winner come out of that Fort Walton Beach area, but this year the person that caught it, in fact, I saw a little video of him releasing it, showing a tag on it. He had a little video on Facebook, and he released it back. So it's still over there, and so you want to get registered. But anyway, just want to catch up with that. I haven't really gone out yet. I'm going to give you all another couple of days to try to catch up and try to catch it. If not, I'm going to go out and catch it probably next week, all right? All right, let's look at some pictures. We'll start off with Chris Paxton. Chris has been on the show before, FWC biologist. Now, do you want it grilled, broiled, or fried? And really, any of those ways would be good, okay? We got a lot of snapper being caught. And at the same time, a lot of brim. David Bird took his wife, Becky, to the big river, and they caught a mess of them. And people ask why that cage is on the right. That is actually how you scale them. That just rotates round and round and gets the scales off. I've never used one of those, but I know down in Howard Creek and all these fish camps, they have a bunch of these around the neighborhoods and all. And they obviously work pretty good. Okay, there's a good picture here. I know all these fellows here. On the far right is Captain John Law. And all those boys to his right, now those young men, they went to Mosley. All those boys played football together at Mosley back in about the early 90s. I recognize most of them as Joe Wright, Sean Wilder, Lynn Tolbert, Ray Wilson, Calvin Griffin. Ray ended up playing a little bit of NFL ball, and all those boys are good ball players, good young men. It just tickled me to see this picture. They all getting back together and going fishing with their teammate John Law. Good to see you guys. All right, next picture. I know y'all have seen a lot of rainbows the last couple of days with the rain we've been having. I was driving down the road, leaving my house, headed toward Highway 77, and to my right now is Miller Marine. And then look, that rainbow, it looked like it's landing close to Miller Marine, so I'm gonna call Mandy and see if she got that pot of gold. If she didn't get it, I'm gonna go out there and look for it. But Miller Marine, you see their roof is still blown off, part of it. But they're back in business, doing real good and all. and we'll have to check up on them. This picture, I got to explain it to you. I'm supporting my sponsor, Simply Seafood. That's Gail and I, and that's my son Chip on the right, and Jill. And what we did, let me tell you, I'm going to explain this picture to you. I don't like to show a lot of family pictures. I mean, I do like to show them. I don't want to do too many, but this one is funny because what we did, we went to lunch yesterday. We always, during the school year, we'll check out Matt and Mackenzie, their daughters, our granddaughters. Once a week, we'll check them out and take them to lunch. We don't have 25 minutes, but it's become a special little family thing that the grandparents and granddaughters go out to lunch once a week. Well, the parents always, talking, y'all have a good time at lunch. So, yeah, this week, the girls are off up in Georgia at a church camp, youth week or whatever. And so we took their parents out, we sent them this selfie, say, look who we took to lunch today while y'all are out of town. So anyway, that was a little family thing. I was just going to share it with you. You get a kick out of that. And Chip now is with Leak Landscaping. His good buddy, Ronnie Leak. He's been with Ronnie before and real happy. He's got a beard. I don't like Chip with a beard, but I do like Chip, but I don't like his beard. But it's a music thing. But real proud of my son Chip and also my daughter Wendy and her family. Hunting Heritage Banquet, we're going to have the National Wild Turkey Federation. Ken Paramore said, we've recovered in spite of all this. We're still going to do our banquet, and that shows a lot of hard work by a lot of good people getting ready for this hunting banquet. The National Wild Turkey Federation will be on August the 9th. That's good ways off, about 6 weeks. Go ahead and put it on your calendar. It's going to be that's a Friday night, August the 9th, okay? Our local banquet, and I'll get Ken on the show, of course, to come talk about it, but we are going to have it. Good message here from Ted and Arnold Gagne. Winston, what a great Triple Tail fishing trip. Thanks for sharing. Nice to have a break from hurricane matters, Ted. You're so right. That was a fun trip, okay? You know you're feeding a bird. This is my yard, y'all, and I couldn't help but got tickled. I know you feel like you're feeding your birds well when the turtles start coming over eating and coming out of the woods and eating the bird feed. But I just got a kick out of that yesterday. I had to take a picture and share with you. Okay, let's see. Move on to this one. Got a report now from Larry over here, Choctawhatchee Bay and River. Trout are few, but redfish sight fishing is good in the bay. For folks who use cut or live bait, try chunks of ladyfish. That's a good fishing hint this morning, chunks of ladyfish. The river was stained. I've heard that from a couple of different people. The river was stained for a few days, but it's clearing up now. Both brim and bass fishing was okay. Haven't heard about catfish. All right, listen to this last sentence. Be careful on the river. I've seen sturgeon from the bay to Highway 20. Haven't seen a shark in a while. Remember I just mentioned about Scott Lindsay had a big old 6-footer jump up in front of him while he was moving. He got splashed with the water. So really be careful over there, all right? And so that's, and let's see, Lake Powell. And Larry also went over Lake Powell. I'm going to talk about Lake Powell shortly. Very few trout in it, but massive redfish. The red fishing in Lake Powell is red hot. Middle paragraph, the only time to fish Lake Powell on weekends is before 8 a.m. and after 5 p.m. There are a lot more boats out there, more boats than fish. And also find a creek mouth and sight fish for reds. Okay, he had one broke his head and spook, one of the best fights. So the north side of the lake produced the best. That's our midweek report coming out of that area. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. I always appreciate your viewership. Still got some people entering. I told y'all any time of year send it in. So I got from Southport, Michael Walsh and Mary Lee Walsh coming in from Southport. And we're glad to have you. Thank you for that nice note you sent along with it. So enter any time. We'll be drawing every Friday from Tarpon Rock Seafood and other things along the way. I didn't finish with the pictures. We got a bunch of them. How about some more red snapper pictures? One of my former students. Hey, Coach. This is from Becky Warren. Hey, Coach, we caught 9 red snapper, 11 mangrove, and 1 grouper on my dad's boat Sunday. We had a great time. Happy Father's Day. And look at that catch. And this is just, these are folks who just like to fish, local folks. And that's a great, I got some more pictures. Here they are fighting it. Now that's a lot of fun. You see that the water had calmed down. Sunday was a good day to fish. Here they are here. Wow. Look at that big red snapper. Look at that one. Look old Becky smiling. Good job, Becky Warren. Glad you got that. And now our buddy Greg Taylor. Hey, Coach, despite the rough seas Friday, we had a great catch, including my biggest snapper ever. Now listen to this, 28 pounds, 36 and a quarter inches long. Folks, that's a yardstick. All right, here it is right here. Greg, that is an awesome fish. Look at it, that's vertical. Now look at it horizontal. I'd be having that big old smile and grin on my face too. 28-pound red snapper. Greg's fished his whole life. Greg is a great outdoorsman. Greg Taylor, he watches the show and he does a great hunter, a great fisherman. But when you catch a fish like that now, that is a fine trophy. You got to get a replica mounted of that if you can. That's just amazing. I tell you what, I wanted to, let me get into this. I ran into Greg Brudnicki the other day. The mayor, he and Bill and I had a few minutes together. I said, I know you're the mayor, so you can get all kinds of things done. I said, I never ask a mayor for any kind of help. I want to ask you help on this. Can you please do something about these crazy drivers? And they all busted out laughing. And he said the same thing we've all said. The driving has just been phenomenally bad. And I don't get tickled. I get aggravated at all these people. You guys up in Sneeds and Billy Grantham, you probably don't have this problem. It's because of the congestion of traffic. But here in Panama City, it has gotten to the point where it's just really, it's dangerous. People are just flying by this morning on the bridge. I swear somebody passed me going 100 miles an hour on the Lynn Haven Bridge. I swear they were going 100 miles an hour. Every day, people cutting it from it. Most of them is these big construction people, these trucks from out of town. Most of them have Texas tags or either Louisiana, and they have no regard for our safety. They're out to make a dollar, and we really, we're going to have some innocent people hurt pretty soon. I want to share this with you. I'm going to get to Lake Powell. This is special to me. This is Richard Suber May and his family. Now, this is at Lake Powell. I want to show you Lake Powell. And Richard Suber May. Let me explain the May family. Richard's great-great-granddaddy homesteaded out there where Rosemary Beach is, all that area. His great-great-granddaddy homesteaded actually as late as, it went in 1925 when he homesteaded, almost 100 years ago. And the May family still has a house there. It's been through a couple of generations, but unfortunately they're getting ready to sell it. It's just, the developer just kept giving more money. So they're going to sell the house. But Richard had some kids out there. I'm going to show you the fun they had at Lake Powell now, okay? Just catching fish. Just a couple of 8-year-old boys and just wading out there, doing this, you can get there, just wade out there. You can come in on the state park side at Camp, it's right by Camp Helen. They walk down from Camp Helen, their property is right next to it. That's the old pier. That's a cut now from Lake Powell into the Gulf. Great place to play. That cut comes and goes, and give them a crab net. Look at there, just go crabbing. These kids love doing this kind of stuff, especially here in the summertime. Here's local on a west end down there of Bay County. I just wanted to share, and those boys just had a great time. Different things they can do, wading across that area there. That's going toward Camp Helen. So that's all. That whole area there is just really special. Now, let's catch up on another thing I want to catch up on, triple tail tagging. Everybody, we got a lot of comments on the triple tail video. And people, I got some comments, I got some criticism on our camera work. I apologize for the camera work. We did the very best we could. It was just myself and Chris. Our budget in Panhandle Outdoors, we're not allowed, we just don't have the money to have a full-time cameraman to go with us at a drop of a hat. So sometimes we just do the best we can, and I apologize for the quality of it, but you can see it made up for it to me with the quality of fish that we caught. We just had a wonderful time. But checking up on the triple tail, I went on their website, the Gulf Coast Research Lab, and it's not updated. It's about 5 years old, but basically found out they've tagged about 3,400 up until then, 3,400 triple tail, and they've recovered about 350, which is 10%. They consider 10% a really high number for recovery of tags. So To me that would be low, but as researchers, they consider that pretty high. A couple of facts they found out: most of those triple tails that they've recovered on the tags have stayed within a 10-mile radius of where they were tagged. And I thought that was an interesting point. They found one. They found one that had traveled 510 miles. He was tagged in Florida. He was caught in North Carolina. But said that was an exception. I guess he was just wanted to hit the road, and I know what happened. He got caught in that Gulf Stream and just went straight on up there to North Carolina. 510 miles, but most of them were within a 10-mile radius. Now you can participate, and if you tag 5, you can get a free T-shirt from them. It has a design on it by a famous artist and all. And also they found out that triple tails are good with changing colors according to the water they're in. They can be sort of blackish, darkish, and a lot of people call them blackfish, or they can be grayish, and also they can have a yellow tint if the water sort of dictates to them what color it is. You see that same thing on speckled trout. If you catch a speckled trout in the Gulf, it's a lot lighter and brighter than it is in the bay system, and also the redfish too. So triple tail do the same thing. Interesting information on triple tail. I really would like to take some time off and go out there and just visit with those research biologists, see if that research was, like I say, 4 or 5 years ago, and maybe catch up on some of the recent ones. I know Chris Gouris, his tagging program is amazing, and he's able to have his own little study himself because they report to him, and he's sort of seeing, and he's going to start putting together stuff. Of course, he's not a marine biologist, but he is a fisherman, and he's a fine fisherman. All right, let's take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I want to go over a couple of things with you. I just get fascinated. At all times, I'm fascinated with the Florida Panhandle. I have been that way since I was a kid, and so many natural, beautiful places we have here. And within an hour drive, you can do anything. So one thing, but I want to focus today on the eastern end of Bay County and the western end of Bay County. Of course, the eastern end, not Mexico Beach, but right next to it is Crooked Island Sound. And I talk about that. But on the western end, I want to talk. We just had those pictures of Lake Powell, okay, Powell Lake and Camp Pelin State Park. Now, this is special to me because of one thing. What's the beauty of it? We have this state park right here, and I'm so thankful we do that the state was able to buy this from the family that had Avondale Mills. And what we don't realize, a lot of people just don't realize the opportunities we have. Now, Rosemary Beach, this area right in here, the Rosemary Beach area, that was the old May property. All this in here was all May property, and like I say, the boy I showed a while ago with his sons were descendants of that family, and they were down here. So, and that sort of inspired me to show y'all some things real quick. Of course, if you want to put in Lake Powell, there's a boat ramp. We've talked about the boat ramp before, and the park and all. And but I want to just show you some. I've talked about these docks here, about fishing all on this side. I haven't really gone. Okay, I haven't really gone into the north end. You have the golf course here, and of course we always we're careful about the runoff and all here from the golf course. But coming up this creek here, okay. I haven't talked about it. This is an ideal place to fish. And now the thing about it, you just have so many docks in here. It's built up. It's really built up. But you can kayak in here. You can take a boat in here and just fish in these docks along the way. Okay, look at all this structure and all through here. It's just an excellent place to fish. And people don't realize it. And it go way on up in here to the creek, to the mouth of that creek. And just take your time and ease through there, and then come back on the other side, on the northern end, and then that little bayou up in there. See all that natural land. Then coming on through here, but that little side, that little northwest side of Lake Powell is an excellent place. Then you have the golf course, and then of course you're gonna come on over here, and you have the places here. But anyway, the crabbing and all on this end. Let me put it right here. The crabbing and everything through here. Like I said, put it in a state park, and you got all this area in here. And you launch your boat right through here. So I just want to talk about Lake Powell. It's just an ideal place. A lot of times I sort of rush through it on the Friday fishing report, but it's sort of overlooked. So Lake Powell, like Larry Brown said, try to hit it during the week. On Friday, on Saturday and Sunday, it's just full of people on jet skis and all kind of stuff like that. Now let's go to the far eastern end, and I was talking about Crooked Island Sound. Now, this is more of a dismal report because I just want y'all to understand you need to enjoy Crooked Island Sound while you can, because it's not going to be that way much longer. What we're going to have, they're going to open up the old pass. That's already determined. It's going to be opened up, and the good from that outweighs the bad. But one of the bad offshoots of that, when that old pass is open, of course, it's going to help clear up San Andrew Bay and all through here, and it'll open it. But what's going to open up here for all the weekend boaters and all, that's going to become a weekend place for boaters, and there won't be any fishing left on weekends in Crooked Island. Also, the developers are developing here on the other side of Mexico Beach. This area right in here between the Mexico Beach city limit, this is all going to be developed here. And it's going to be a lot of population in there. And what they're going to be able to do, they're going to be able to walk. They're going to be able to walk. Here's the area right here. They'll be able. Here's the canal, and all this will be developed. So all these people will be walking and taking bicycles and all down that way. So just be aware and try to enjoy Crooked Island Sound as much as you can now in its natural state, because it's inevitable that it's going to be overrun. But so on each end, on the eastern end and western end of Bay County, you have two jewels for outdoorsmen. You have Lake Powell, which is just still a beautiful natural area, and then you have, of course, Crooked Island Sound. So that's two special places. So try to enjoy them. Now tomorrow we'll be giving away some seafood, of course, and we've got all kind of exciting things coming up. I'm going to have Brad Stevens coming on, and it's going to be a good Friday. So we're going to wrap things up. As always, you can enter the contest anytime. Send me an email, or you can send me a letter, whatever. And also, anytime you have any feedback on the show, give me a call or email me or whatever. But thank you so much for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate the viewership. As always, we ask you to do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.